Hello, everybody, and welcome to the HUB PYL. On this show, you can stay informed and be connected with all the happenings in Yorba Linda, Placentia, and the surrounding communities. My name is Todd Frazier. I'm a local business owner, a resident. I am a California licensed CPA, and I sit on the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District Board of Trustees. I am currently the vice president, and I just felt like I get a lot of questions and texts and emails about, hey, I heard about this. Hey, I heard about that. So I thought, you know what? Let's just talk about it and share the information that I have and give you my perspective. And hopefully we can shed some light on things that may be a little bit murky or things that you're hearing that you hope aren't happening. And spoiler alert, the things that you're hearing that you're concerned about probably aren't happening. But in this first episode, this first video here and audio, we're going to have it on all the proper platforms. We're going to do a proper podcast. We're going to do videos on YouTube and most of the social media platforms. And really, we're going to talk to people that are in the community. We're going to talk to people on the city council. We're going to talk to business owners. We're going to talk about literally all the things that are happening in the community, because that's one thing I feel like I don't see a lot of. There's a couple of newsletters that I know about that I follow, but realistically, there's just not I don't feel like a place where you can get insight from the people that are involved. So that's one of the biggest reasons that I'm starting this show. So hopefully you're along for the ride. Make sure you subscribe, share with your friends and family and anybody that's local, or if you've left, because I know there's been an exodus. Goodness, there's been an exodus from California. And if you just want to keep tabs on what's happening in your old town, stick around. Well, my name is Todd Frazier, like I said, and one of the biggest things I'm getting asked about right now is things happening with this school district, with Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District, and specifically, there is rumors that are, they're rumors that are just swirling like crazy right now. There's a ton of chaos, specifically with dealing with employment. If you haven't been paying attention, or if you've just heard rumbling somewhere, we're going to kind of walk through that right now. So there's been people that have said things mostly on social media. There's a few people that have made comments at some of our board meetings in public comment about firings of teachers and administrators. I was at one of the plays for El Dorado High School, and I had a parent come up to me and say, hey, I heard that they're firing like 20 or more administrators and principals in the district. And I was like, well, that's the first I'm hearing it, because that's not happening. There was a walkout that was scheduled by students at Esperanza High School in support of their principal. There's just a lot of, I think, misinformation happening, and that's a buzzword. And I don't like using buzzwords, but sometimes it's just what it is. It's a lot of misinformation. And the thing that I want to talk about with you right now is the importance of listening but verifying. I think you've probably heard the term trust but verify. But I think we're probably more in the world right now of where listen and verify actually is a better way to approach things. I have conversations with people all the time that I disagree with. I have customers in my business that I politically don't have the same views, but we have conversations and I listen and they listen. And a lot of times there's things that we just don't agree on. However, there's a lot of things that we can do together even when we don't agree. Specifically with some of the things that we're dealing with these employment matters, that there have been, I don't even know how many times things have been posted about employment currently in the district. And there's something to be said for the date of March 15th. And you're not aware of March 15th. March 15th is the date that in a school district, if you're going to get reassigned or your contract's not going to get renewed or something's going to change for your employment, you have to get a notice by March 15th. That is something that's happened for as long as I've been aware of it. And it's just a thing that happens. And this year on March 15th, there were, just as always, people that got notices. Now, these notices don't mean that you're fired. These notices don't mean necessarily that something's going to happen. It just means, hey, we wanted to put you on notice because we were required to, that things may change. Now, all the decisions that were made about these notices that went out were made at the board level, and it was a 5-0 unanimous vote to support these potential changes. Something that happened after that vote at some point, people that are involved, either receiving notices or involved in the voting and some sort of administrative level at the district, shared information that there were certain people that were going to get these notices. And somehow that snowballed into, we're going to have 10 people get these notices, 12 people get this. And it got up to 20 notices. That is completely not true. And there are things that were looped into that with other positions in the district. And the reality is this happens every year. This is not unusual. There has been comments made and public videos put out about the superintendent and myself and other board members that have a hidden agenda. Where specifically, I heard a comment, and we'll talk about it here in a minute, that doesn't actually make any sense at all. And that's why I want to talk about listen but verify. There's a lot of places we can get information. A lot of us, and I'm me included, get most of our information from posts on social media somewhere. I like to go from X to Facebook to, well, I don't get on Facebook that much, but sometimes there's things there, to Instagram, and then just straight to news sources. And then also there's just the comments and texts and emails that we get with our community members and family and things that are going on. So there's lots of places where we can get information. And I think it's important to listen to that information. As crazy as some of it may seem, there may be a nugget of truth in it. There may be a little bit of, oh, wow, I hadn't heard that. Maybe I should look into it. And that's the point where I think just listening, and we've I think, become a culture of we hear something and automatically we act on it. We hear something that fits either an emotion that we are feeling and therefore we just go with it, or it's something that we don't like, or it's something that we do like and we automatically act on it. I don't think that's a good idea, especially in our culture right now. Especially we're in an election year. Like there are a lot of people that are pushing things so that you think a certain way and then eventually you vote a certain way. So there's all these rumors that are swirling about what's happening at our district, what's going on with all these firings, what's going on with the comment that has been swirling specifically is about unfair firings. I don't know where they're getting that from. That's not true. There's nothing happening that's inappropriate at all. So if you've heard that, I'm sorry to tell you that's not true. And hopefully you heard it and you thought that doesn't sound right. And I will say one other thing specifically about myself and the other board members and our new superintendent, who Dr. Alex Chernus, if you're not aware, has been doing a phenomenal job in making things happen and moving things along in the district that I feel like have not happened for a long time, or at least haven't moved in these directions. And it's new, it's innovative, and it's bringing life to the district. I think that's a really, really good thing, which also I will make a point that we hired as a board unanimously. There's been comments made about a hidden agenda, that there are board members, and I'm one of them that's been included in these comments, that we're trying to torpedo the district, or we're trying to make the district terrible. And that's just simply not true. There is no reason. Let's think about this. Let's listen. Okay, we hear the comment, but let's verify. I'm a local resident. My kids are in the school district. So my fellow board members' kids are in the school district. And why would we put ourselves in this position to be in the public eye and try and make a difference when we're trying to do it with evil intentions? That doesn't make sense. I don't think that anything that we've done actually shows that. There's no evidence that I can see of that. There are people that dislike some of the decisions that we made, and there are people that have disliked some of the people that have, or some of the changes that have been going on. There are people that have left, and that's just part of change. When new people come in and there are changes to be made, sometimes people don't like it, and that's okay. I will say it's very disappointing, though, to hear the level of rumors that are being thrown around as fact, and people are just running with it. And I'm concerned that that is going to make people make decisions that they wish they hadn't made. Specifically, there were things about that we're converting Bernardo Yorba to a charter school, a district charter school. It's called the Orange County School of Computer Science at Bernardo Yorba. Leaving the name tagged on because of the history of the school and the Yorba family and all of the things related to that. but it's a district school, and some people don't understand that. And maybe at some point we probably should have somebody come in and we can actually have a discussion about what that means. But it is a district school still. It's not an outside charter coming in and bringing their people and taking over the things that are happening in our district. It's still a district school. It's still run by ADA funds. It's still ultimately comes under the authority of Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District. So it's not what you would typically think of in these charter scenarios where people are talking about charters are going to come in and we're going to turn into a charter district. That's not what's happening. Simply, this charter specifically is going to be integrating computer science in a way that is integrated throughout the curriculum. It's a different kind of way to do computer science that actually teaches students. Now, this is a junior high level. It's actually middle school now, 6th through 8th. But they're going to be learning computer science at a level that makes sense for them. They're not going to come out and go work for Apple in 9th grade. That's not what this is. And I think people are concerned about that. People are concerned that we're going to push kids too fast. And, well, my kid doesn't understand computer science. Well, I didn't understand Spanish until I took it. And now I know a poco español para mí, ¿sí? And I apologize, that's not very good. But I know a little bit of Spanish, but I didn't know it before I started. Same thing with math. There's lots of subjects that we take that we're like, I don't know anything about this. But the benefit of knowing it, especially in today's culture and society and workforce, is a huge advantage for our students. So that's just one of the things that's happening that is going to be a huge advantage for our district. It's one of the first of its kind in our area, our community, and the enrollment shows it because it has jumped up quickly. So let's get to the administrative changes. There was a student walkout that was student-led. The students say that they were involved in all this. I would be curious where they get their information from because they didn't come up with it on their own. They weren't in any of the meetings involved in what happened. But they staged their walkout. It's happened. It's over. The disappointing part that I saw was there was news coverage of this. It wasn't disappointing that there was news coverage, but there was a parent that was at the student walkout in support of their principal, which I'm glad that they like their principal. That's fantastic. But the parent was interviewed by the news, and the parent didn't say anything about supporting that specific high school principal. She named our superintendent. She named the president of the board and said that they, along with the rest of the conservative board members, which I guess I'm one of those because I am, are trying to put religion in our curriculum. What? I'm sorry. That's just doesn't make any sense. That's not realistic. First of all, we're not. There's no evidence of that. And that's not even something that I ran my campaign on. And second, we can't put religion in public school curriculum. That's not something that can happen. So I'm not sure where the information's coming from, but those are the kind of things that are happening. And that parent decided to do that at a student walkout that was supposed to be student-led for students, but there was a parent that started talking about things that was not related to what these students were saying the walkout was for. So that's concerning. Then there was something that came out to show what's happened over the past few years. So I've got this spreadsheet here, which shows us in school year 2021, 21-22, and then 22-23. These are all the principals at our schools, and the highlighted in orange names are names that were either they resigned, they retired, or their contract was not renewed, or they were reassigned. Those are all the things that can happen when you get a March 15th notice. Now, resignation doesn't necessarily happen because of a notice. That just happens. People retire. That's not related to that. But if you look at between 20 and 21, there were 12 principal changes. Between 21 and 22, there were 6 principal changes. And then last year, there were 5 principal changes between 22 and 23. The number that now is potentially going to have changes in 23-24 is 4 principals. That's in line and actually less than previous years. There may be 5, and we don't know exactly what that number is going to be. But this is the reality. This is actually what's happened. And a lot of the outrage has come from, well, I heard that they're firing all these people. That's not happening. There is a process that happens when there's reassignments, there's non-renewal of contracts, and that's the March 15th deadline, and that's what happened. So the thing I think we need to think about now as we're using the concept of listen but verify is, why would this be happening? Why would these rumors be going around? And you can think about that on your own. I think there's a couple things that are interesting. We've got a brand new superintendent, and he's, in my opinion, doing a great job. He's moving fast. He's making changes. We've got the Orange County School of Computer Science coming in. That's brand new, and it's happening rather quickly. We've got a Universal Sports Institute that's tied to our independent study program at Parkview, which is a very unique program in our district that many districts don't have. That's new, and that's coming. There are changes that are happening at the administrative level. That's just what happens. When change takes place, sometimes people don't like it because it's not what they're used to. Totally get it. Understand. Change takes place. We don't like change sometimes. We're used to having things a certain way, doing things a certain way. We have a routine. However, when you're in a situation like as an elected official and you have to hire a new superintendent and you need to make decisions for the district that's in the best interest of the district and the students and the community and the teachers and the administrators, that means sometimes things are going to change. And that's not a bad thing. And I think that people are concerned is not necessarily a bad thing. I think that you need to be aware, and that's good. But at the end of the day, when you think about there's changes happening, should I think about it negatively or should I think about it positively? I would err on the side of saying, I don't hear things specifically that are coming out of the board meetings themselves, or when I talk to Todd, or when I talk to Leandra, or when I talk to Alex Chernus, or I talk to, anybody at that level. Do they seem like reasonable people? Well, I can answer. I can answer for myself. I feel like I'm pretty reasonable, and I'm willing to talk to people. I talk to people that I disagree with all the time. I talk to people that I agree with all the time. I think it's good that we talk and we listen and we have conversations. That's how we move forward. But the things that are happening and it feels like a narrative that's trying to be set is that the district is in chaos and it's in disarray and things are going badly. I think if you look at the situation, that's not true. There's our enrollment is actually going up for the first time in more than, I think, 8 years. We're actually trending up. We're not claiming that we've gone up yet, but we're going to see what happens. But it feels like it's going in a very good direction. We are not doing major layoffs. There's districts around us that are laying off hundreds of employees because of budget issues. We are starting a new Universal Sports Institute, which I'd like to talk about at length at some point. It's a very unique opportunity to recapture students that may live in our district and go outside of our district because there are other opportunities from an athletic standpoint and a sports standpoint. So that's innovative. And we're making all these changes, and I am here to tell you, I think that they're good. I think that these changes are actually making a positive impact on Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District. And I would hope that if you think about these yourself and what's actually happening, and if you look at the true numbers, it's not 17 people that got released or resigned or whatever these numbers are. That's not true. So let's slow down, let's listen, but let's verify. Let's check on that. Let's ask questions. I am very appreciative of the people that have reached out to me and said, "Hey, Todd, this doesn't sound good. Can you help me with that? Can you help me understand?" And I do. And usually after the conversation or the email or the text or the phone call, they understand a little bit better and they feel like, oh, that makes sense. So don't just jump on, and this is goes for anything, I think, right now. I try and practice this myself. I don't just hear something and then all of a sudden say, oh man, I got it. Yeah. Yes, that's good. No, that's bad. Listen, take a second to process, and then verify. There's lots of ways that you can find things out these days. Sometimes it's a good way to find out. Sometimes it's not the best way to find out. But there's still lots of ways to find out. And I would hope that most of us that live in the district, that work in the district, that our students go to school in the district, that we would assume that we're trying to do the right thing. We're trying to do things that are actually beneficial for the district, because I, as a board member, that is why I'm here. I wouldn't put myself through being on a school board to get told the things that I've been told and assume the things that have been assumed about me if I didn't want to make it better. That's why I'm here. So hopefully you hear that, and maybe you're one of those that's been maybe you've been spreading some of the information that's wrong, and you probably know that it's wrong. Or maybe you're somebody that's heard something and you thought, man, why are these board members or the superintendent or these teachers doing this? Well, maybe you should actually ask some questions. Let's look into it together. Let's come together and let's make positive change, because I think that ultimately is something that in our community, in the Yorba Linda, Placentia, and surrounding communities, we want to make things better. And that's why I'm here. So as you go away from this, and as you see the next post that pops up on social media and the next accusation about something being bad, look at it, read it, consider the source, and then verify. I love Placentia Yorba Linda's Unified School District. I love Yorba Linda. I love Placentia. I've grown up here. I work here. I raised my family here, and I wouldn't do that if I didn't love it. So thanks so much for joining us. And if you have questions, or if you've got comments or concerns, or if you heard something that you'd like to hear more in depth, let us know, and we'd like to put it on. Or if you've got businesses that are in the area that would like to showcase things, or if you're working with, I know that Love Yorba Linda is happening soon. There's lots of opportunities that you can get involved in the community and just work together so that we can make a positive impact to the people around us and our community as we move forward. So with that, have a good one, and we'll see you next time.